Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing great today. Welcome. Caffeine. It's always very helpful. We'll get started here in just a moment. While we're waiting for people to sign on, I just want to say thank you if you've joined recently. Welcome to the group. This is, I think, the best group out there. I mean, I'm a little partial, but everyone's so kind and nice. And so welcome to the group. I am a baby lock educator, so everything I do is on a baby lock machine, but do not let that discourage you from watching the videos, because you can always learn something, right? We can always learn something. Today we're going to work with Applique, and if you don't have IQ Designer in your machine, but you have embroidery software, you can do something very similar. So make sure to watch and see, ask questions if there's anything I don't know, just ask questions, you know. So welcome, everyone. Congratulations again to all the winners for the last week's giveaway. That was a lot of fun. Your stuff will be sent out tomorrow. And of course, my nose is going crazy as soon as I start to talk. That's how it goes, right? Welcome to Florida. So yeah, congratulations. And everyone who entered the giveaway, thank you too. You all made some beautiful projects. That shows me that my videos are helping people out there, and I really appreciate you showing us what you're doing. And then you went above and beyond. So I'm like, I need to steal that idea. That is so cute. So there were so many of those out there. I was like, they smarter than me. So yeah, let's see how we're doing here. See if there's any questions so far. Hello, Marianne. I'm so glad it's your first live. Welcome. Let's see, what else have we got? If I have sniffles, guys, I am so sorry. Of course. It's only when well, it's all the time, but it's usually happens when I start to talk. It's so funny. All right, so today is Applique, and give me just a second. I'm going to do something. I'll be right back. I am burning up. I need to turn the fan on in here. Woo, woo, hot flash moment. You want out? Okay. And then the princess wanted out of the room as well, so details. All right, okay. So got people on. All right. Yeah, Applique. Let's talk about Applique. Applique is one of my most favorite things to do. And it's a lot of fun. And if you're new to sewing, right now she's barking. If you're new to sewing or you're new to embroidery, Applique is a type of technique that is so much fun to do with your sewing or your embroidery. Now, there's two types of applique out there when it comes, well, actually, there's three types. We'll start with the very first type that a lot of you may know about, and it was the way that applique was originally done. So basically it was a piece of fabric that was folded, the edges were folded to the wrong side, about 1/8 of an inch, and then hand stitched on. No, not doing it. It's beautiful, and you can see those William Morris quilts out there that people do, and they're phenomenal. Or if you go back in time and you look at these quilts from the 1800s, all the Western quilts or the Southern quilts or even the Northern quilts, there was a lot of beautiful handwork done with applique. So you think about a fruit basket. That may be something you've seen in a museum or something, a fruit basket quilt. And it was elaborate. And definitely these ladies just sat there and hand stitched everything. Now, you know, back then when you had a little bit of time, that's what you could do. And probably if you were rich too, that's what you did. But then sewing machines came out. And guess what? Some amazing women and men, let me throw that in there, and men, figured out that you could take those shapes and stitch them on with your machine, right? With the sewing machine. And this is on the sewing side of your machine. Same thing, they would take the fabric piece, they would fold the edges to the wrong side, about 1/8 of an inch, and then you could stitch them down with a blanket stitch or a zigzag stitch, even a straight stitch, however you wanted to do it. But then we had, what did we have after that? Then we had raw edge applique. And raw edge applique was just taking a piece of fabric into that's cut, let's say, into a heart, lay it on the fabric and just stitch around it. And it left a raw edge. Adorable. I love raw edge because when something's washed, it gives it that fuzzy look on the ends, and I think that's super cute. That's just kind of how I think. I'm fuzzy, so I don't mind the fuzziness. I think it's adorable. Then when embroidery machines came out, our favorite thing to do is that a lot of designers started creating embroidered applique. And that's what we're going to work on today, which is really, really fun. So if you're new to this, I hope you're going to gain a little bit of knowledge, not only on how to design it on the machine, but the steps, because there are 3 steps to embroidered applique, and it's super easy. And it's a lot of fun because there's so many beautiful designs out there. Think about Kimberbell. Think about designs by Hope Yoder, designs by Juju. Everybody, Fabric Confetti. Fabric Confetti has cute ones. You know, every designer out there pretty much has some applique designs. But if we have a machine that has our special program built in, which is IQ Designer on the Baby Locks, and if you have a brother machine that has My Design Center, then you can design your own. And that's what we're going to work on today. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think I saw something pop up on the questions. It may not be a question, it may just be a comment. So let me put my eyeballs back on. Hey, Melinda. Yeah, Diane, that is Lacey. She's she only barks when I get on lives. Yeah, Sweet Pea is a good one. Sweet Pea is a really good one, Judy. They've got some really stinking cute stuff out there. So, you know, take a look around those sites. I'm gonna say this, and I'll say this once, and don't beat me up later. Always look for reputable design companies. Now, there are some amazing new designers coming out, and you may find them on just websites that you can just buy onesies and twosies. But if you're not having the success with it stitching out really good, I wouldn't be so fast to jump to it being the machine that's making your design look icky. Sometimes when someone who, you know, I'm learning software, is newer to designing designs, it may not be digitized just right. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at designs. But there's a lot of reputable, beautiful designers out there. Now with our machines, it always comes out beautiful because we're special. So, okay, now let's talk about if you've never seen what, or you're not quite sure what embroidered applique is. So let me start with this one here. Okay, so this has two pieces of fabric in it. So it has two appliques, one right on top of the other. So here we go. You may have seen this before. I probably showed this to you. And I built this in IQ Designer. And what it is it's one flower applique, and then there's another flower applique on top. Now I have some satin stitching on the outside of this one and some candle wicking on the outside of this applique right here. So this is embroidered applique. What else have I made then? So this one right here, this is really cute. Just a little trivet that I made, and this is a applique. But what's different about this one is this is one piece of fabric applique. This isn't, there aren't two pieces of applique fabric. It's just how I designed it to make it look like there were two there. So love this. I had so much fun playing with this one. I loved making it, and I used my fills on it. Can you see my fills? Oh, y'all know I love my fills. If you took the door hanger class with me, some of you guys used different appliques, and that we went over how to make them. And this was my bunny rabbit one right here. So that is, we designed an applique. He's super cute. And where's my other one? And this was the other one that I had done for the class. And this one was shut the front door. This is my door hanger. And I used the words as my shape and created an applique. We can do that with IQ Designer. This is one of the projects that is on the USB stick if you purchased it. It is candle mats, these cute little candle mats. So let's take a look at this guy and let's think about this. Yes, we see an applique piece in the center, but we made a freestanding design. That's fabric. So this could be considered an applique on the outside. So this white fabric could be considered an applique. It's just that it's freestanding, and the inside is definitely an applique. Loved this sunflower fabric. Reminds me of my sister who used to decorate all in sunflowers. So I just had to get it. I love it. And then there's one other feature in these machines that is basically like a patch feature. So you can take a design, and I'll show this. I'll just walk through this one pretty quickly, which is a super cool tool to use in your machine. This is actually on the embroidery side. So basically what you do is you bring in an embroidery design and you select the patch tool, the patch key, and it builds an applique around the design. So it's a little bit different than what we're going to do, but it is a really cool tool to use. And this is a gorgeous, and I forgot to mention Sandra Shaw Designs. Hello. She has gorgeous designs. We all know that. If you're not part of her club, you need to be a part of her club like today. And that is the Hoop Fun Club. So this is a beautiful Sandra Shaw design that her design included applique. So right here for my flower and for my butterfly, but I've turned basically turned it into a patch using the patch tool on the embroidery side of our machine. So there is so many options to play with. And so with that being said, let's talk about appliques. So earlier I said there's 3 steps to an applique. So first is what is called a placement line. So what would happen if I was going to do the shape of a heart is there would be a stitch line that would stitch out first that would be a heart on my fabric. Then what I would do is take my fabric and lay it over that heart, and then there would be number 2, a tack down line. So it would tack down in that same shape, and then I would take a pair of scissors and trim really close on the outside of that stitch line. And then the last stitch will be the finishing stitch. That could be a satin stitch, that could be a whatever stitch you choose. So there's so many options. So with applique fabric though, I like to prepare my fabric, especially if I'm using a cotton fabric. I don't know if you have done embroidered applique before, and you just took a piece of cotton fabric and you put it in your design. And let's say it's a onesie and it's a number 1 for baby's first birthday, and you put a piece of fabric down with nothing on it, just a plain piece of cotton quilting fabric, stitched it. It looks beautiful. Once that onesie got washed, that fabric kind of scrunched up a little bit. That's because the fabric wasn't prepared for applique. And usually what you need to do, and the best thing to do, even if some people say, well, use Terreal Magic. Terreal Magic washes out, so you're still going to get that crinkling. So what I like to use is some sort of webbing on the back. Baby Lock makes a fabulous webbing, and there's so many other companies out there that make amazing webbings out there. You can list, those of you who do embroidered applique, list your favorite webbing in the comments here. But this one I have already fused on, and what it has is it has a fusible layer, and you fuse it to the back of your cotton fabric, and then there's going to be a paper side. Now, when I'm ready to use lay my fabric down over the placement line, I just remove this. This is now sticky, and I can place it over my line and then let it stitch down. Then what I want to do, ideally, is then press it, then fuse it to the fabric after it's trimmed, ask me how I know, and let it cool completely, and then let it finish the finishing stitch. And the reason why I tell you to go ahead and fuse it after you've trimmed is because the sticky is still sticky. It has not set unless think of it this way, it hasn't set until the heat has made it set. So if that makes sense. And then once it's cool and you're ready to do the satin stitch, you're not going to get any sticky on your needle. Because there's sticky on here because it is an adhesive. So yes. Yep. So this is a fantastic product out there, and it's awesome. So, and I'll show you how it works too. Okay, what else have I got here? Okay, I think that's where I wanted to start with talking. And I don't have anything prepared for what we're going to design today. I'm just going to do it, and we're just going to have fun with it today. So let me move all these guys out of the way. Oh, I forgot to show you one other thing. You remember a few videos ago, we did the cork board, the cork quilt board right here. So this cork piece is considered an applique because I created a placement line, a tack down, and a finishing stitch, although they're all straight lines. So this one was a lot of fun to make. I love it. Yeah, look how cute. I have all my cutesy little guys on there. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So we'll set that one back here. Well, we'll just get rid of everything back there. Okay, well, I am going to switch you on over to the machine, and we're going to get to appliquing. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Well, y'all know this takes me forever to figure out. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, here we are. Today I am working on the Solaris, but remember, if you have a machine that has IQ Designer in it, this is going to work. And if you have a machine that is a brother machine and has My Design Center, this is going to work for you as well. Now, again, if you don't have a machine like this, well, that just means you need to go get you one, right? Or if you have software, some sort of software, Palette 11 or Floriani or any of those, you should be able to do the same process. It's just we have it right at our fingertips in our fantastic machines. So let's get to work. Let me make sure I bring my questions over from you guys. All right, so we are here at Sunny the Solaris. Yes, I named everything. Every inanimate object. And where we're going to start is in IQ Designer. So we're just going to come right down here to IQ Designer, or if you have one that says My Design Center, that's the one you're going to click. And we're just going to click on it. Ooh, my mouse is a little slow. It might be my mouse pad. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Let's just push it. Okay, I wasn't prepared. That's working better. Okay. It was just acting up for a second. All right, much better. Can the open block letters in the text icon on the Altair be enlarged more to applicate them? Marianne, that's a good question. Let me just jump to that really quick. So if you're talking about in section 3, let's say 1, this right here, not really, because they will only go up to a certain size. Now, if you want them that small, which happens to be, well, let's see what I can make it. Let's see what size I can make it go up to before it stops. Okay, so it'll only go up to about less than 2 inches. So you want to be careful of that because that's going to be a tiny applique. Plus, what would be hard on the Altair is to get inside of here. So if you're looking for a large block letter, I would definitely look out there at some nice little websites that have the embroidered applique. Okay, so let's go to IQ Designer. Oh, well, you know what? Let me take that back. You can scan in letters. So yeah, I mean, that is an option. You can actually scan in letters to IQ Designer and do it that way. I'll see if I can find, do a little demo on that here. I'll find something. Okay, so we're going to go to IQ Designer. I'm going to do something here. I have my frames on and I'm going to turn it off because I don't really need it. Okay, so in order to create an applique, what we have to do is decide on a shape, right? So this could be a shape that is brought in as a clip art or from one of our built-in designs. And we're just going to use one of our built-ins today. And if you look on your machine, now your screen is going to either look just like mine or very, very similar. And what you have here is right up here, you have a grouping of 4 icons right here at the top. That's always going to be your line properties. Then if we go down, you're going to see a grouping of 4 right below that. That will always be your fill, F-I-L-L properties. And right below that, you will see what is called the stamp icon, but I call it the shapes key. There's a circle and a square. So we're going to click on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a shape today. Now, once you pull up this menu, or once you click on that key that gets you to this menu, you're going to have some options. You have all these closed shapes, these closed shapes right here. Then if you look up here, these are your tabs that all the shapes are hiding in. So these are your regular closed shapes. If I click on the little flag, you're going to find more. And right next to that is this little curlicue. Let's click on that. These are your open shapes. So these will be open. This one may be closed right here, but it's not hard to close it if you wanted to use that as an applique. And I think this leaf inside is completely closed. Yeah, oh yeah, the shamrock is definitely closed because we've used that before, right? Even these little birds right here, you could use as an applique, which would be really cute. And I'm going to have to do that another time because now I just had an idea. But I'm going to go to my middle menu, and I'm going to pull up one of these shapes here because I really do like these shapes. They're a little bit more freeform, a little bit more fun. So let's look at this little cute flower right here. This little guy right here. And I'm just going to click on that and then push OK. And what's going to happen is it's going to bring up this shape for me, this flower shape. And what I want you to be very mindful of, and let me darken that up a little bit. I just looked back. I want you to be able to see my screen kind of good there. Kind of blurry, isn't it? That's about as good as I can get it, guys. But what you can see is you'll see my shape and you'll see a red box. This red box is important. This box, it means that this item is selected. So if I accidentally click off of it, that red box goes away. And if you noticed, all these grayed out here. Now I can't change the size. Now, of course, I can go and select my selection tool and draw a box around it, and it'll it'll draw, or excuse me, it'll select it again. But if you're unsure what happened, here, let me go back to the beginning, and you accidentally do something that you don't like, let's say you take that selection box off, remember, you always have an undo key right down here. So I'm going to undo that so the red box is around my shape. The next thing that I'm going to do is change the size, because I can do what I want, and I am a strong, independent woman. And I'm going to change it out because I got a 5x7 hoop out. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's see, we'll say 4.8, whatever. Perfect. So there we go. Now I'm going to push OK. And I have created the shape and size I wanted for my applique. So what if I just wanted to do some little flowers all around, or maybe I want to, I don't know, maybe we'll just create a flower as a whole. I think this will, okay, I got an idea. I just got an idea on my head. Okay, so with this little guy, the first thing that I would do if I were you after changing the size is select memory. Let's save that, because if we don't and we lose it, then we have to remember exact size that we changed it to, and we have to keep designing it over and over again. So let's just go ahead for fun and save, well, not for fun, but we want to save that to memory. So you may have a key that does not say memory. Your key may look similar to this guy up here with a pocket, but the arrow is going inside of it. So that would be your memory key, not the one where the arrow is going outside. If you on your machine has a pocket with the arrow going inside, that's the key you're going to select for memory. So I'm just going to select the word memory on my machine and save it to my machine. There we go. So it's saved. I am safe. I am good to go. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to change this stitch line to a running stitch, because anything, and I'll just show you, anything you bring, any lines you bring in, any shape or anything you bring in from a clip art or anything like that, it's going to be automatically a satin stitch. So you can see up here that the satin stitch is highlighted right here. I'm just going to hit next. I don't want you to do this if you're following along. I just want you to watch. If I hit next, this is what it looks like. Well, if I'm doing an applique, I need my very first stitch to be a running stitch, not a satin stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to the grouping of 4 icons right up here. This is your line properties. I'm going to click on the little piece of paper, and I'm going to then find the attribute that I want to use, which will be this little double line right here. This is your running stitch. So let's click on that. And then I do suggest selecting a different color. So I'm just going to select a dark blue and push OK. Now what I want to do is change this line from satin stitch to a running stitch. So what I have to do is tell this line to be a running stitch. So I want to go back up to that grouping of 4 icons and select the little bucket. And now what I can do is I can either take my finger or my stylus or my mouse pointer and tap directly on that line. And although you can't see it on your screen because I chose a dark blue, if you are following along and you did exactly that, you'll see the line change to a different color. And that means it worked. So this is where it gets a little scary, but just hang on, you've got this. So what we're going to do now is select the word next. We have just created our placement line. And what we need to do is take this all the way to the embroidery side. So basically we're going to create a layer. So first will be the placement line, Next will be the tack down, and then the last will be the satin stitch. And I think we're going to add a little stem, which will be the fourth item. Okay, so if you are on a Altair, Meridian, or a Destiny, this is important. You're going to see the word preview right down here, and I want you to select that word preview. After that, select the word OK. If you're on a Solaris, it just says set, so we're just going to select the word set and OK. Now, if you're on the Altair, Meridian, or Destiny, and you have selected preview, OK, select the word set now and OK, and you'll be in the same exact screen that I'm in. Now, this is our embroidery area. We're not in IQ anymore. We're in our embroidery editing area. And we do not want to move anything. We want to leave everything where it is. So don't worry about moving anything just yet if you wanted to move it up or down. We need to leave everything exactly as it is. So now what we need to do is go and make the tack down stitch, the tack down stitch. So that's the second stitch, number 2. We're going to go to the word add down at the bottom. And then you'll, on your screen, find the words IQ Designer and click on IQ Designer. Now, this is where and why it was important to save that flower shape. You're now going to start looking for the key with the pocket with the arrow going outside. So just like this one, the pocket with the arrow heading outward. So let's click on that. And then you can see I just designed everything. Right here, this little guy right here is the one that we made. So let's click on her. She's the same exact size as our last flower because we saved her. And what we need to do is tell her to now be a different stitch. Remember, when it comes in, it's always going to revert to a satin stitch. So let's go to our line properties, and we're going to go up here to our little piece of paper. So right here, I'm going to click. And now what I'm going to use, and this is up to you, you can either use a single stitch, or I'm sorry, a running stitch or a triple stitch. For my tack down, I always use a triple stitch, and here's why. Because when I'm trimming around the outside of the fabric, if I happen to stitch a little bit too far in, this triple stitch is strong enough to not separate. Oh gosh. But the running stitch might separate. So I'm going to select a running stitch, and please excuse the dog barking. And I'm going to select another separate color. I'll do this dark green down here, and I'll push OK. It's like when you have kids and you get on the phone and they're like, mommy, 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 and dad's gone. Yeah, dad's gone. Okay, so now what we want to do is then come back over here and select the bucket. And again, we're going to tap on that line. And now I have changed that to a triple stitch. All I have to do now is select the word next. I've created my tack down line. Again, if you're in an Altair, Meridian, or a Destiny, or the Like Brother machines, you're going to see the word preview down here. So you're going to select preview OK, set OK. And for us with the Solaris, we're going to, or the Luminaire, you're going to select set OK. And now what you'll notice is you now have 2 different flowers. You have your placement stitch, and now you have your tack down stitch, and they're directly right on top of each other. See why I said don't worry about moving anything yet? Because we need everything to lay on top of each other. Now we've got to add the satin stitch. So we're going to go to add. Let's go to add down here at the bottom. And we're going to go back to IQ Designer. And now guess what we're going to do? That's right. We're going to go ahead and grab that shape again. Give me just a second. I am, guys, because that's maybe a little annoying to you, I am going to close my door. So if you don't mind giving me a split second. Okay. All right. Guys, she barks at the air, and I'm sure some of y'all understand that. Hey, Hope. There's my bestie, Miss Hope Yoder. There she is. Hope Yoder is one of the people I mentioned earlier that has amazing pre-made applique designs. So be sure to check out Designs by Hope Yoder and the Embellish product. Okay, so now what we want to do is we need to finish this up, right? We need to add that last finishing stitch. And the finishing stitch is going to be the pretty stitch on the outside. So it can be anything you want. It just depends on what you want it to look like. But what we have to do is pull it out of memory again, right? Okay, so let's go to our, let's open up our memory and grab our flower again. And there she is. And now we're going to go back to our line properties right here again. So we're going to come up here. We're going to select our little piece of paper. And we have some choices. Depending on which machine you have, you can do the satin stitch. You can do the candle wicking, which is really cute. You can do the little chain stitch, which is really cute. Now, if you have a Solaris or a Luminaire, if you go right here where these little flowers are and open it up and hit select, you have some more options to play with. But today, I think we're just going to select the candle wicking stitch because it's really super cute, okay? Okay, so I'm going to select that. And again, yes, I'm going to select a different color. So I'm going to do this bright orange right here and say okay. So once again, to change that line, all I need to do is select the bucket right up here in the line properties, and then take my finger and tap on that line. Although you can't really see it that well, it did turn orange. So now all I have to do is go next. And this is where we can make the candle wicking bigger or smaller. Let's say, like, to me, that looks beautiful. I am happy with that. However, if I wanted my candle wicking to be a little bit larger or more spaced apart, I could definitely come in here to these tools. Your tools may be down here, but these tools, and change that if I wanted to. The other thing is if I had used a satin stitch, I could come in and make the width of the satin stitch larger. And I do suggest that when doing an applique. So I'm going to do something real quick here that, let me change it to a satin stitch. If you're going to use a satin stitch, I want you to notice how tiny that satin stitch is. What I suggest when doing applique is to take this key right here where it says 0.08 and raise or widen that stitch length to about 1.8. I'm sorry, 0.18. And you'll notice that it gets bigger right here. So much better. But I'm going to put mine back to candle wicking. So let me do that really quickly. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now, once you have found your perfect finishing stitch, what we are going to do is we are going to select the word, if you have Altair Meridian or Destiny or the Like Brother machines, you're going to hit preview, okay, set, okay. And for us that are on the Solarises this evening or the Luminaires, hit set, okay. And there she is. Now, let's add a little stem. I mean, why not, right? Because we can do what we want. We're the boss, right? Okay, so we're going to go back to add. And I am breaking this down in parts. Could you have done some of this design work all together? Kinda, yes, sort of in a way. But I'd rather do things in multiple steps so you get as much practice as you want or as you need. Now watch this. This is going to be a little weird for you, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back and pull that flower back out. So we're going to go to our memory. We're going to pull her back out, but we do not want to stitch her out, okay? What we want to do is we would just want to use her as a guide. Okay, and what I mean is I'm going to turn off her stitches. If I wanted to put a stem in there and I didn't want the flower to stitch out, I'm just using it as a guide, what I need to do is tell this not to sew. However, if I were to leave this and take it all the way over to embroidery, it's going to stitch out, and that's not going to be cute. So let's go up here to our line properties. We're going to select our little piece of paper, and we're going to select this little guy right here. It's a zigzag with a red line through it, and then say OK. Again, we want to make sure our bucket is on, and we're going to tap it. And if you were to zoom in really close, it looks like little dash lines, maybe like little marching ants. But I'm just using it so I know where my flower is once I create my stem. Now, you have different options to use for your stem. If you want to just do a straight stem, then you can use this straight line right here. But I'm going to use the drawing, I can't say it right, the pencil right here, okay? So here is, if you haven't touched anything, then it'll be right there. And you can take a stylus or use your mouse or whatever and just take and draw. Oops. Okay, maybe that one didn't like it. I'm just going to use my mouse. And I'm just going to, and this is probably not going to be super cute because I'm not really good at drawing. And I'm just going to draw a stem, okay? Yeah, that's ugly. So I'm going to back that up because I didn't like it. And just start wherever you want. Just draw a cute little stem. There we go. I don't know. I think I need to go up higher. So I think I need to come in here. I think that would be better. There we go. And I could, that is terrible. Let's do one more. Now I'm like all about it. So it needs to be somewhat presentable. There we go. And then I'm also going to, let's see if I can freehand this. Oh, that's terrible. I was going to do some leaves. I think I'll leave the leaves out. Now, if I want to make sure it's going to fit into my 5x7 hoop, what I could do is go up here first to my menu, or excuse me, my settings. And on the very first page that pops up, it's going to say frame size. What I can do is come here and find my 5x7. And what it's going to do is just put a guideline around it. Now, my flower is way too big for my 5x7. It's my wings are showing, girl. My ankles are showing. Okay. So what I could do is come back and go here and erase this. Yeah, I just don't know how cute that's going to be. So I might take the stem off. Now, if I was going to do something bigger or smaller, you could add a stem to it. But all you would have to do next is, oh, you know what? We could use this one. I could use this one. So what this one does, this is cool. And this is good to show you guys. So this one is like a little clicking drawing thing. So I don't know how to explain it. But if I click right here, then I can move to here and it'll start drawing, and I didn't do that right. There we go. If I start here and I move over, I can start drawing in small little increments my line or my curved line and make it kind of do what I want it to. And to end that, I'll just double click off. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. So I can just double click off. I think I had a problem with this one last time. So I don't know. We're just going to back it out. But just play. Are y'all laughing at me? Because I hope you are. Just play with it. And all you would do is after you get your stem, you would select the word next. You would select the either if you have Altair, Meridian, or Destiny, preview, Preview, okay, set, okay. But also what you would want to do is tell it what line you would want it to be. Would you want it to have like your stem look like little candle wicking coming down, or just a little triple stitch, or even a satin stitch? So if I had pre-planned this better, it would look a lot better. I wouldn't have made this guy so big. Okay, so I'm just going to hit return, and I am back here. All right. So I am back here now. So what I need to do is stitch it out, and this is going to be pretty big. So what I have is I have my fabric hooped. So depending, you're going to hoop it with whatever stabilizer works best for whatever you're doing. I've just got some fusible tearaway on the back of my cotton fabric here. And we'll walk through the steps. I don't know if I have a big enough piece. For some reason, my embroidery foot is not on, so I'm going to slap that on super quickly and find another piece of applique fabric big enough. I made her way big. I actually have a drawer of applique fabric that's already been fused to something. So, ooh, you know what? I have some pretty Dupioni silk. Ooh, we're going to do that one. Okay. If you confuse it, do it. That's right. That's Hope's motto. If you confuse it, do it. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to embroidery. And the first stitch is going to be that placement stitch. So let's kind of work back and forth with the camera. And let's see how this works. All right, so we're just going to come here, and that's a little too bright, so let's loosen that up a little bit. All right, so the first stitch is going to be what? Oh, got to put that down. Let it do its thing. So my first stitch is going to be the placement stitch. And again, I have my beautiful Dupioni silk with my fusible webbing on the back. Now I'm going to skip a step just for you guys tonight, but maybe it'll show you why you definitely want to do the fusing part. All right, so here's my little flower. She's all stitching out. Now, you're going to ask me, because we get asked this a lot, with the running stitch, can you change it from just a single line because it runs in a double line? No, but you can stop it right here and cut the thread. Okay, so I'm going to place this now over it right here. And I'm going to drop my foot, and now you're going to see the tack down stitch. Let me see. Help! I can't get out of the drawing screen. I have a red square and the red line at the end of the stem. Marilyn, I'm not quite sure. Do you see the word next at the left-hand bottom of your screen by chance? Because you may be okay. The red box is just there to, you know what I did? I let it finish the first stitch, but we're going to do the second stitch now. The red box is just the selected box. That means that's the item that is selected generally. So I don't know if maybe you can take a picture and post it. Can you do that here? Oh, I guess you can't. I'm trying to see if there's a way to post a picture. I guess there's not. I mean, if you give me a few minutes, we can go back and double check that for you. All right, so this is a triple stitch now. What it's going to do is just kind of do literally a triple stitch. It did its first outline, and now it's going to go back over it. So think of a triple stitch as the stitch that you see on your jeans or something that's just really, really strong and durable. It just makes a donk sound. Interesting. I'm thinking, Marilyn, I'm not quite sure. Do you have the word return at the bottom? That would be at the bottom left-hand side. You might want to select the return key and say OK to get out of there, and then go back to IQ Designer and start over. All right, so we're almost done. Now, you see why I want the triple stitch, because when I start to go cutting around this, if I just have a single stitch, if I cut into the line, oh, there you go. Mickey says, okay, ooh, there you go. Press on another symbol, like the paint brush or the eyedropper. Just do that and see if that works. That's a good, I didn't think about that, Mickey. That's a good one. Okay, so why I have a triple stitch is because if I had a single stitch here, and I snip one of those lines, then that's going to stick up, and that's going to get kind of icky. So I like the triple stitch just to hold it down better. Okay, so now what we do is easy peasy. We're just going to go in and trim. And I am using the Quilter Select applique scissors. Oh my gosh, these are the best because they get super, super, super close. And I know my hands are going to be in the way for just a second, but I'm going to start turning it here. Oh, good, Marilyn. I'm just not sure. You know, it's so hard sometimes to see what you're seeing. So I'm glad it worked out for you. All right, so you just go. I'm just going to do kind of a quick and dirty one, guys. I'm just going to kind of make this just kind of quickly get around here. So you, and since I'm doing candle wicking, I'm not going to be too concerned about these little corners here because they'll get kind of, or little V's. Ooh, I'm at a weird angle. Cut this off. There we go. Let's get rid of that. But you want to get as close as possible, especially if you're using a satin stitch. Try to get as close as possible to the lines, because if you don't, you get these little things that the technical term is pokey. And the pokies will come out in between your stitching and they just look icky. Or they're hanging out beyond the stitching and they just look icky. Oh. Having a harder time with this. This has probably been sitting on for a while, so, or this, because like I said, I have a I have a drawer of applique pieces that, you know, if I've fused something to a big piece of fabric and I didn't use the whole thing, I just throw it in there so I can use it at another time. Get that out of the way. There we go. We're almost there. But you can see how fun this can be and how so many cute things you can make, and it's really, really easy. And one more area. There we go. Okay, not perfect right now. Well, there's no such thing as perfect, but not great, but I'm going to live with it today. This is just a teaching tool. So now what I'll do is I'll place it back under, oops, my thread popped out, back under the right way and rethread my needle because the thread popped out. And I'll do the candle wicking now. Now, what I told you to do earlier is if you have a fusible on here, to make sure that you fuse it first. So ideally before I had started this, I'd want to take it over to the iron on whatever the manufacturer's direction says on what temperature and fuse it, let it cool completely, and then do the last stitching. And if something happens, at least you get to see what it'll look like and what happens if you don't. It may not, but usually what will happen is sometimes if that's not fused, the sticky will stick up the needle, get sticky all over the needle, and then break your thread. So fusing it really is the best. Okay, Marilyn. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah. I guess, you could always send me a picture through the group and I can kind of take a look at it and see too. Oh, the black doesn't look bad on this blue. It actually looks kind of pretty. So yeah, I don't know if you guys ever used Dupioni silk in any like clothing or anything you've made. You can use it for appliques. I actually did it with this one. It's actually the same one for this little flower applique right here. And I love using it. If I have some scraps of it, and I used to work in a store where we just had a bunch of it, and so I grabbed a bunch of scraps of it, and it works great for applique, and it looks super cool. It is a little pricey, but it's, if you can get it by like quarter yards, you can really make your embroidery appliques just look a little more fancy, you know what I mean? Because you're using a silk. And it's tough enough to take the embroidery without preparing it. We'll let that finish stitching. And this is just the candle wicking, which looks so cute. Now, what I'll do is, Mary Ann asked a good question earlier, could she do block lettering? So yes, and I have done a few videos on bringing in clip art from your, from basically the computer and bringing it over to your machine. And I'm going to do that here. So I'm not going to go through all the steps, but I'll bring in a clip art letter and we'll go through turning that into an applique here. However, again, I've done like probably 2 or 3 videos on doing the whole process. So you'll just go back and rewatch those. But let me find, I'm going to go and find a letter. And you save them. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but basically I'm going to use this letter B that I looked up on Clipboard. I know the lighting's terrible, but I saved this from the internet just now, and I'm going to shoot it over using the apps, the positioning app. Let me brighten this up so you guys can see it. And again, I have a few videos on this, so I'm just doing it quickly. This is the machine I'm using. I'm going to do this one down here, select, choose, and send to the machine. Oh, maybe it's because, well, let's see. It's not letting me do it. Maybe it's because it's stitching right now. And I'll show you how to turn that into an applique. It's actually the same process. And the cool thing is these, if you find free clip art, guess what? It's free. You don't have to go buy a whole collection. All right, look at there. Look how pretty. It's really pretty. Okay. So see, that's how easy it is to make an applique. And you could really do some really cute stuff with this. So make sure to play with this technique. Now, we had a question earlier about using the fonts in our machine. And let's talk about that. Let me go back to the screen here. Because depending on which machine you have, okay? Is that too bright? Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm wiggling a little bit, but I'm trying to make sure I get every inch of the screen in there. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Let's go to regular embroidery. All right. If you wanted to use letters to create an applique, you would have to use the bigger letters here. These are your bigger motif letters, and you can do that. So let's say this one right here, and I wanted to do this bead, and then hit set. You can use the stamp feature, which is here under edit, and this little flower right here. Okay, so if I tap on it, we're going to go here. You'll see the design that is grayed out a little bit, but there's a line around it. So let me just move the line away so you can see what it looks like. Just trying to move it away enough. I'll move it back. Okay, so can you see the line there? That's the line you can use to create the letter, right? Well, what if you wanted to do the inside of the letter? If you have an Altair meridian, you can't do that at this point. You have to go in and IQ Designer and design this part right here. Now on the new updated Solaris 2, I can push this button here and it'll give me the inside lines. So I'm going to save that and then let you look at it, and it'll make more sense. So I could, in theory, turn that into an applique. So let me go grab it. I just happen to know where it is, and I'm running through this pretty quickly, I know. But here's my B. And now you can see let me click off of it. You can see the outline. Here's the outline of it, and there's the inside. But we don't have that function on the Altair Meridian to fill in the inside of things. So for me, what would be best is to do the clip art option. So you find a clip art online, you pull up your app, and let's go back. You save it to wherever you're going to save it. So save it to your phone. You use the IQ Positioning app. And you're going to use Select Image for creating design right here. This is the one that I've saved from the internet. And I'm going to select Choose and Send to the machine. It's going to say Sent to IQ Designer. I'm going to say OK. Since it just told me it was sent to IQ Designer, I'm going to go down to IQ Designer here. And this is where you're going to find it, okay? This is the little confusing part that a lot of people have a hard time finding it. So let me show you where you're going to find it. So you're going to go up here to your leaf, or it may be somewhere else. And we're going to go to Line Design. And then we're going to go to Wi-Fi. And that's because we sent it over Wi-Fi. So let's select that. It's always going to be the first one up here. It doesn't have a name and you can't rename them. But it's always going to be the first one there. And look, there's my bee. So I'm going to hit set. There it is right there. I'm going to just say OK because I want it to outline everything that's there. See, there it is right there. I'm going to hit set. Now, what you're going to notice, it looks kind of dark here. I'm going to turn that down and I'm going to zoom in just so you can see that there's my bee. And now I can take and do everything that I did earlier and turn this into an applique. So first I would want to make this a placement stitch. So I would change this line, these circles here in the center, don't forget to change those, into a running stitch. You want to save it first, of course, if you change any of the sizing or anything. And then I'd come back, make it into a triple stitch, save it or bring it over to the embroidery. Then I would do my final stitching, and then I had my own custom letters. How cool is that? I mean, I think that's really fun if you can do that. So hopefully that made sense. Yeah, Melinda, aren't those scissors great? I love those scissors. Okay, So one other thing that I want to show you guys. Yeah, won't that be cute, Marian? I mean, you could really, yeah, you can really find some cute letters out there on clip art. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do one more thing. Okay, so we're just going to go out, and I just want to show you how I created basically this patch. So I have the embroidery design, but I wanted to create a patch out of it. Now I put it on this just because it holds its, you know, for samples. But let's say you wanted to create a patch, which is kind of like an applique, right? So I'm just going to go find a quick embroidery design, a little smaller one. Let's see here. What do we got here? Chipmunk's cute or is he tiny? He's all right. Flowers. Flowers always work, right? Okay, here we go. Okay, so what if I wanted to make this a patch with this design right here? And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. There we go. What if I wanted to make this guy a patch? The design is fine. I'm not turning it into an applique. I want to stitch it out on some fabric and then have it be a free floating design like I have it here. Easy. All I have to do is go to the word edit and see this little shield right here. Tap it. I can move the distance away from, you know, so you see how it's kind of like tight up in there. I'm going to move it away. Okay, it only lets you go so far, which is fine. I'm going to push OK. And done. I have a patch. That was so hard. Now, if I go to embroidery, what it's going to have me do, it's kind of unusual, but this is how it works. You're going to have your patch fabric already down, and you're going to, and remember, you're going to have a backing fabric of some sort, like patch, or use like Sandra Shaw sells Patch Bond, which is amazing. That's what's on the back of this. So what you're going to do is first stitch out the, let me go through these colors for you. So you're going to stitch out the first color of the design. You'll stitch out the next color. And then what it'll do is it'll give you a stitch line around it. Now this is kind of like a reverse applique. And let's see, this is your cut line. So you'll take this and you'll now cut out the design. You'll have another hoop with some other material, like I would use a wash away stabilizer, or if you're going to burn it out of the hoop, no-show mesh. And you'll lay it on there. It'll put the stitch line down, and then it'll tack it down, and then it'll do the final stitching. It's really cool. It is kind of a multi-step process, but it works awesomely. It's so neat. And again, all I did was I had a design. Let's get that away. I brought up my embroidery design that I want to be my patch. Could be letters, could be names, could be anything you want it. And look, boop, it's now a patch. That's how fast and easy it is. Is that not super cool? I love that. And I just think this one turned out really beautiful. I love this one. So maybe it goes that way. I don't know which way it goes, but it's so pretty regardless. So yeah, pretty simple. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera back to me, and I'm going to see if there's any questions. Hey, hi. Let's see if there's any questions about applique. So I hope you learned a little bit of something today. If you already knew how to do it, I hope you learned a little bit of a tidbit. If you didn't know how to do it, wow, start appliquing. It's a lot of fun, right, Hope? Hope has a lot of great applique designs. So that's why I keep calling her out, because they're a lot of fun. So you can go to her group, which is Designs by Hope Yoder fan group. And Linda Bigley, who is on here right now, she has her own group on Facebook. It's So Blessed. If you guys wouldn't mind putting a link. Can I do this on the Destiny? Shirley, that's a good question. I think you can. It'll be, what you'll have to do is go to your embroidery screen and click on edit and see if there's that little shield in there. But I want to say yes. So Lynn, I did do a video how I went through the whole thing. It's called Patches Yay. Seriously, it's called Patches Yay. If you look under the list of videos, there is a whole video on patches. And it's a multi-step process, but it teaches you how to do that from the beginning. Any paid classes coming up? I just haven't had time, guys. We've got some things coming up next month. I'll be doing a virtual event for Myers Sewing. So make sure to look out for that, for some information coming up that. And then we have Baby Lock Tech coming up soon. So I haven't had time to really think about that, unfortunately. But yes, where do my comments go? Oh, there they are. So maybe soon. I have some ideas. I've just been working on so many different projects, and I'm so sorry, guys. I know y'all, I keep telling y'all, we're going to do something soon. I still want to do the picture frame, which would be a free class. I've just got to schedule it. So that might be coming up soon too. That would be a totally free class. Thanks, Hope Yoder. Yeah, and Hope has a live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And Melinda has amazing YouTube videos, so make sure to check that out. Ooh, a camper design. Yeah, do that. That'll be cute. Thank you, guys. Okay. Well, still have USB sticks if anybody wants one, and then my fabulous little key fobs. Remember those that Hope designed for me. So if you want one of those, if you just want a USB stick, it's 20. If you want a USB with a key fob, let me know. They're 25. All you have to do is send me an email, and it does have 5 fun projects on there that are made by using IQ Designer or My Design Center. So if you'd like that, and they say Beehive on them and my little logo and the key fob, just let me know. Yeah, my wooden charms. People love those. Hope. They are so cute. Just so cute. Marianne, girl, I don't sleep much. I work not full time. I don't work full time, but I work and I work and oh yeah, I work. and I and I work and I work it and I work it. And I'm a wife and a dog mom and I have parents and a sister and nieces. Yeah, it's life. But you know what? I'm so thankful and I'm very blessed because life has been very good to me. So yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you so very much. Oh, tell Hannah I said, hey, girl. Okay. I hope y'all have a great evening. And I forgot to tell you all I hope y'all had a happy 4th of July. I hope y'all had a great time. We did. We had fun. So have a great new week coming up. I am definitely about 90% sure we're going to do a foot fetish this Wednesday. So if you can't make it to that, then I'll see you next Sunday. But I appreciate you guys coming today. If you have any questions, just let me know. And have a great beginning to your week. We'll see you soon. And remember to shop local, shop small, and I'll see you guys.